a Greninja main.
They did start,
this is actually not a button check.
We gotta cut back to the game, guys.
Yeah.
A little bit of a mishap. I think this was supposed to be a button check, and it is not a button check. So we'll just be jumping into the set. So Unleashed coming from Massachusetts, going up against Jake here. So Jake from Florida, Unleashed from Massachusetts. Wow, huge like amounts of distance travel to get here.
That is true, and now Jake, actually, we're going to have to see. Jake got upset relatively early on here, and then took a minute to make an incredible Lucis bracket run. So it looks like Goofy Goober's thing was a mistake, so our apologies there. A bit of a tech love.
Yeah. And Jake's already doing so well. Almost taking that first stock off in less than a minute. Only 14.4% to his name. And he does not care about these flanking options. He's just backing off.
And then the back here, speaking of backing off right there, Jake is already answering. Look at this percentage differential right here. 14 on this Alex. My God, and just racking up further with those up tilt combos. Unleashed is having a heck of a time trying to get his footing in this match. And given the size of those shoes, I'm not surprised.
And something that I would like to say, stylistically, I feel like Unleashed is not as big of a combo heavy Sora as we typically see. He goes through quick resets, and you see how much like damage he missed out on as a result. Jake, the quick little downer, got a disadvantage.
And the counter was a really good option. I like that from Unleashed. We're basically saying that we all know that Minecraft Steve is going to go ahead and fling himself at you either with the anvil or the minecart, and you can see how well Sora counter can respond to that.
It is hands down the best counter in the game because it knocks you out of your original animation. Nobody else does that.
Scintilla's pretty good though. Scintilla's pretty good, and then Aha from, or not Aha, the Joker with Arsene counter.
Yeah. Both pretty good, but nobody does it as uniquely as Sora. He says, oh, wait a second, I'm just going to put you in my game. And what a tech. Good recognition, but that's not going to be enough.
Just messing up on the side B, only one interaction. So Jake had all the opportunity in the world to watch as Sora slowly floats back to stage and then reels back with that F smash.
So going into the next game, I'm just going to think a little bit about like, what was the difference between these two? Why was this so well played for Jake? Well, I feel like one thing, Jake really respected a lot of Unleashed ledge options. He was like, you know what, man, I'm not going to try to set up anything fancy. You pressing Thundaga, you coming up with your spinny, funny little move. Have fun. I will be playing Minecraft.
Exactly. That's the big thing about this character, though, is that it does not need to play your game. If you cannot force Jake's, Alex, or Steve to feel pressured and to feel the need to run in on you, then why do anything else? Why not just try to grab these resources? Why not build up whatever obstacle course you want on stage?
For sure. But already super different game. Unleashed going to be going to home territory here, dealing 485. Jake going to be slapping back with 57 of his own off of just a single up tilt. Everybody got their low percent, you know, fighting past two bread and butters out. Now it's time for the resets. It's time for the one-off hits.
Yep, we are into true neutral right here. Now the question is going to be, yes, how impactful can that counter be?
Ooh, and tries to go for it again, but that time a little bit too slow. Jake just slipping in cleverly with the Elytra.
And at what point do you actually commit to it? This becomes a question. At what point do you recognize that the counter is really going to be, oh my God, he gets the roll in there. Enough considerations about other options. If you just understand what Unleashed is trying to do to approach, then just go ahead and hard punish.
Hey, just how Unleashed tried to do that? Tried to punish the end lag of Elytra?
Yeah, that's difficult. That move doesn't have too much of that end lag nonsense. A lot of this character doesn't have a lot of end lag.
Yeah, not at all. Jake right now using the anvil to force Unleashed to back off. Oh my gosh, his movement is so solid. He's just making the stage effortless, but finally the Thundaga able to call him out there, getting that stock off.
But Diamond is on deck, and look at this. I love that Jake does this a lot more than other Steves, is that he'll get his powerful tool in Diamond pickaxe, and then he'll just back off and go back to mining. It's like, I do not feel pressured. I don't feel like I need to go in. I'm more than happy to just get setups and wait for you to try to figure out how to approach me.
Oh yeah, Unleashed though, try to back off with that. Not going to be able to get like the hit confirm into the grab there. Just using the most out of his floatiness, fading back with that up and making himself as difficult to hit as possible. But Jake going to be getting hit with that Thundaga as well. Unleashed just trying his best, but the hitbox extension.
TNT trap on deck, perhaps, trying to go ahead and get the standard get up, but not going to pay off there as Unleashed waits it out. Look at how deep Jake feels confident going. The reversal with the up B, though. We know that Steve can typically make these back, but Sora's edge guards are somehow second to none. Unfortunately, the super high minecart.
Yeah, he went a little bit too deep just once and almost lost the stock lead. That is the beauty of the reversals that Sora and especially Unleashed can just bring onto the table, and finally, that is going to take off that stock.
And now we've got the obstacle course of Bruin here. Whenever Steves get this situation, I just have to take a moment to pause, be like, all right, what nonsense are we going to see right now?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, the falling fail into the jab. So much damage, so much potential hit lag as well. But finally coming back on with the Blizzaga.
What is disadvantage, Dara?
I don't know what that is. All I see is Anvil. All I see is Island, baby.
Is able to go ahead and use the Thundaga to snipe out of that minecart there. So Unleash, bringing this to a last stock situation. Jake a little bit low on resources too. Tons of iron though, and it looks like that is all Jake needs.
That's the terrifying part about Steve. Anytime that Steve has more than a couple of pieces of iron, both types of like your primary advantage states, aka juggling and edge guards, suddenly become much more of a coin toss, and they become dangerous to you because you have minecarts to worry about, you have falling anvils to worry about. It's so much, and you have to be so cognizant of that in the moment. You have to be like, okay, I understand you might go for this, so I will either try to deflect this, which is so risky, or I will have to give this up and allow you to reset neutral, because that is not a hitbox you want to contest with at 80%.
Do you really want to allow that character to reset neutral too?
It's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly.
There's like no positive outcome in that. So Jake is just exploiting that really well, making the most out of the tools that he has available. I'm curious, like for some late game counterplay would be some preemptive counters from Unleashed.
We saw a little bit of that game 1 too, but the problem was the game 2, it just felt like he got it once or twice, but it was never as impactful as that one stock in game 1 where he just went off stage, caught the minecart like almost in the magnifier, just blasted into pieces.
Yeah, setting up that wall, just saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy myself a little bit more time. That wall is putting in the work, and Unleash not able to get the throw combo. Down tilt into up tilt, up tilt. Classic, 36, nothing to sneeze at.
And we are still going right here. We've got an edge trap opportunity. Great use of the back air right there to reset the situation, but waiting it out. Look at how patient Jake is in edge. He's basically understands that Unleash likes to swing really preemptively and just guessing on a jump or a standard get up and not fighting whatsoever.
Oh, but eating through that projectile with the jab and still trying to come back in. This game is just about even at this point. And, well, again, his just, like, setups with the wall just buy him so much time and time again. And here's the thing, too. A lot of the time, you want to get back onto stage as quick as possible against Steve to stop him from setting up. When your recovery is as slow as Sora's, that's not a privilege that you have.
True. The counter, though, you talked about this is a powerful option right there, Dara, but the problem is that if you swing and miss, you may find yourself making an early exit.
With that trade, I'm surprised Unleashed didn't die to the dash attack.
You're not the only one that's surprised. I really thought that was going to be a stock. TNT slowly ticking away, and we know that Sora can stall, but not for that long.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too long. What is happening?
The grab and then just starts beating on him in the little house right there.
Yeah, he has like no go options, because the thing is, if Jake techs that, I think he would have been able to actually punish Unleash while he was stuck in the end lag and stuff. That might have been unsafe to throw at that point.
It's so ridiculous. We only see those options when Steve is on the character select screen. Falls out of the up B, and Jake, he waited it out, but facing the wrong direction.
And I understand that. I feel like the best option would just been to like do a walk back F smash to cover half that platform. It's just like sort of compensating for sort of tricky air acceleration. So Jake was, he had to make a read at that point.
Kidnapped again by that side B, just dragged off stage, and it feels like, given how slow Sora is, like, it's such a momentum breaker when you're all of a sudden all the way across the stage and you have to figure out how to get in on Steve again. Fire actually not breaking the armor of the minecart right there, so Jake, full stage control, high percentage here for Unleashed.
Ooh, tries to go through just a 2-frame with TNT, and somebody has to grab onto the ledge yet again. He has so much iron. He has so much like good material at this point. This is going to be a tough match for Unleashed.
Diamond in the back pocket too, so even if you get this stock gone, you're going to have to struggle even further. Now look at this though, this stage does allow you to have great materials, but you get less of it. So look at this, only a couple blocks of iron left and no real solid building materials. We're not going to see like the wood or dirt houses being constructed quickly.
Okay, but actually slipping in between the hits of the Thundaga there. Unleashed now 2-1 stocks. Massive lead for himself. What an air dodge! That air dodge landing with the F smash as well. That was immaculate.
The American air dodge gets punished by Jake. Again, not trying to overreact to it, not trying to immediately rush and punish that option. Watch them slowly drift toward the stage and say, GG,
yep,
swing.
Beautifully played. And you don't typically see that against slow, active projectiles.
No.
Something that they do is just like, okay, I want to scale you into shielding at this point so that Sora can use that as the opening to make it back onto the stage. I have never seen as good of a punish on Sora using his typically safe opening projectile. It's like punishing Yoshi for going